Okay, it's Matthew Holt on the HIMSS floor in one of the big fancy booths. This is the Philips booth, the Chem Health. I'm with Carla Kriwet. I hope I got that close to right, Carla. She is the CEO of Patient Care and Monitoring at Philips. Philips is a huge company, Carla. It's done a lot of, doing a lot in and around healthcare. For a start, which bit do you run and work in? Tell us a little about Patient Care and Monitoring.
Yeah, it's Patient Care and Monitoring Solution. So I run globally all the patient monitoring in the advanced value premium side, the services around it, the IT around it, and everything around therapeutic care, which is ventilation, it's anesthesia, and it's our AED business.
Okay. Now, a bit more wider, but still within healthcare, right? Philips has a big business in imaging as well, and then it's doing a lot of other different pieces. You were one of the three big companies in imaging not to buy an IT vendor, and given the success of the other two, probably not too bad an idea over time, sometime historically. But now you're actually doing a lot more across as monitoring and imaging and IT are starting to collide. So could you explain a little bit about some of the wider initiatives that Philips is doing, including perhaps referring to what you guys are doing with Salesforce and some of the other partners you're making, just generally across the board in health and health IT?
Philips is an innovation company, and our mantra very much is innovation and you. So it's not innovation for innovation's sake, it's very pragmatic, hands-on innovation which is relevant for our customer. We innovate across the entire health continuum, starting with healthy living, prevention, diagnostics, treatment, all the way back to the home. And continuous monitoring is a very important part of it. So let's say we have a cardiac person, let's say her name is Anne, she had a cardiac event, we are right there with our defibrillators. We take the data, we exchange it with the emergency centers around, see what the best hospital is, and then follow her all the way with our monitoring to the hospital, the OR, the ICU, where we have predictive analytics, the general ward, where we work with early warning schemes, and then into home monitoring back to a healthy living. So we are very keen and passionate, all of us, including the personal health business and the healthcare business, which we are now merging to a health tech business, about following patients around the continuum of care. And I don't believe that we need a big IT acquisition to do that, but it's very much a partnering model. We partner with companies, you're mentioning Salesforce is a big partner, we are partnering with Amazon, we're partnering with lots of smaller entrepreneurs, universities, and very much with our customers in co-creation, because we don't believe that innovation is done in silos anymore. I think healthcare has been too much around episodes of care. We are integrating it right now, and we think that an open way on innovation and a partnership approach is the best way forward.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously most big companies with a big established business have got this challenge around to figure out this new world, the world that I live in. You have a partnership with a company called Holt, which helps a lot of other monitoring devices get data into other systems. And as you mentioned, Salesforce is providing some cloud-based services for you and some other things like that. Give me a sense about which piece you think Philips is going to own, where you're going to maintain the high ground, and where you're going to partner and use other people's tools, and how will that kind of make sense for the Philips business? I get how it makes sense for the customer, because they want everything to work together, but how is that going to work for the Philips business?
Let me start where our core competences are, and that are very much in the clinical information. It's about the last mile, as we say. I would rather say the last inch. So it's very much between the technology and the patient. Because when you talk to doctors and nurses today, nobody is going to say there's a lack of data. Actually, some of them get quite aggressive when you talk about big data, and they will tell you we have enough data. That's not the issue. But the data is not meaningful for us. It's not predictive, it's not useful. We need somebody who comes in with clinical sense, who understands our language, who knows our devices and makes sense out of the data. So our sweet spot is really the last mile, and our positioning is value creation and innovation for you as a customer, and not big data as such, and not an IT platform as such.
Very good. Now, finally, Philips obviously a huge international company. We think a lot about the US and health IT, and this is predominantly still an American show because the American healthcare market is so much bigger than everybody else's. But give me a sense about two things. Where are you seeing business develop for Philips across the world? Obviously very strong, obviously, in the whole of Europe, but elsewhere. And secondly, where do you think the most innovation in health systems is happening across the world that you see?
Lots of innovation is happening here in the US. A majority of our business is in the US. We have some of the leading institutions here, and frankly also the way the health system is changing with the reimbursement changes, with the legal changes. This is very exciting here in the US. But there are lots of other markets as well who are interesting. I actually think with the NHS changes in UK, you really see a step up there. When you look which kind of digitalization advancements and also transparency the Nordic countries, so Sweden, Norway, Denmark are creating, it's amazing, and they are leading many areas. Also interesting when you travel to Asia, we sometimes fall into the trap, I think, to say, yeah, that's basic healthcare, and they first have to develop and go through all the different steps, and then sometime in 10 years maybe they get to advanced healthcare. But when you visit hospitals up there, and I do that a lot in India, in China, they don't really fit into this categorization. They are leapfrogging some of the digitalization efforts. So you see very basic hospitals, but everybody has an iPhone, and information is exchanged really quickly. You have eICUs, so ICUs in a hub and spoke model, which are really used to bridge very large distances somewhere out there in the middle of nowhere in India, which really technology-wise are quite advanced. So I think we have to say goodbye to traditional models of advanced world and developing world, and really look what is driving these huge populations in Asia as well.
So final question, you have the job of maintaining a big business but also growing it and looking at new pockets. And Philips obviously is doing a lot of different things. If we come back in 2 years and we're having this interview, what are going to be the two biggest things that will have changed in your business over the next 2 years?
First of all, I don't see my job in maintaining a big business. That's not what Philips is all about. It's about growth, it's about excitement, it's about the next thing, and it's about creating value very much to our customers. So what are new things? We are so excited about analytics within the hospital. So everything in terms of patient analytics in the ICU, predictive models, preventive medicine, also in the general ward, and we are making steps there. We just introduced a biomed sensor for the first time, which will very much something which is disposable and will very much increase the mobility of patients and give us the same vital signs, not just in the ICU, but very much also in the general ward in the home. So you will see Philips as the company which is bridging the in and outside the hospital world, focusing around patients, not just as patients, but also as consumers.
Right. I've been talking with Carla Kriwet. Thank you very much for your time. She is the CEO of Patient Care and Monitoring Solutions at Philips, and describing how Philips is not a large company, but a new, thrusty, innovative one, the last exciting part anyway. Thanks for your time, Carla. Great to chat with you.
Thank you so much.